Moment to moment to moment to moment, life happens. And the only thing that's constant is change.
Now, that line in so many ways sums up his career, and part of that change included standing up for himself and others.
The demand is you will respect my humanity, just as I respect everybody else's, period.
His identity threatened his career path, but in the end,
love always wins. I've lived long enough, I'm 53, to know this is a circle of life. Love always wins.
And so the previously understated performer now lives loud and unafraid.
Extract that from the vocabulary. Fear and scare and terror. We don't have time for that.
Performer, actor, icon, the multi-hyphenated Billy Porter on The Pulse. Guys, welcome to The Pulse. As always, I appreciate you spending some time with us, and we have got a special guest today. So there's that whole thing called the EGOT, right? That's what they call it. The Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony Awards. And only a handful of people have won those. Our guest today has 3 of the 4. We just got to figure out a way to get them an Oscar. Spending some time with us today, singer, actor, performer, author, director, activist, and advocate, Billy Porter. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. We have a fashion icon, not you, here at the station, who always wears the stuff. And I started to borrow one of the jackets because I wanted you to review my fashion sense, but I felt like I wasn't ready to take it. Is that you get that a lot?
Well, you have great fashion sense just as you are dressed right now. Fashion sense is personalized. It's how you show up personally.
Okay, I'll take that.
And what makes you feel comfortable.
All right, I'll take that. I appreciate that. A fashion icon told me that I can live my best life in whatever it is I'm wearing.
And whatever you wear.
Again, we thank you for doing this. So what do we have to do? You got the everything but the O in the EGOT, right? Are we about to get you an Oscar in the James Baldwin film?
Well, it's possible. I mean, I also have a film coming out this summer. You know, I wrote a song. I'm a producer. I'm a writer. You know, I have many different angles and avenues that I can come in. So, you know, I'm employing all of the gifts. We'll see.
So
you'll
take the Oscar, but that's not actively seeking it right now.
Well, I think it's yes and. You know, my focus is on the work. It will always be on the work. I am blessed to be aligned with a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, we'll see.
We are, for interviews on The Pulse, I do a little bit of research, of course, in trying to understand people's background. And one of the questions I had written down, I went back to 97 and Show Me and your, soul crooner career. And some of the things I read about an industry not being accepting.
Mm-hmm.
And going from there to now, where you're like, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm speaking out.
Right.
What had to change for you to get there?
Well, first of all, I had to change. You know, Maya Angelou speaks about loving yourself and how we teach people how to treat us and how to love us back with how we love and honor ourselves. So I had to get to the space where, even though everybody told me that my queerness would be my liability, and it was for decades, that was okay, because I was gonna love the fullness and honor the authenticity inside of myself anyway. That's the first thing that had to happen. Inside of me going through that process, the world also changed. The world has changed. The world has evolved. And quiet as it's kept, it will continue to evolve. It doesn't matter what laws are erected. It doesn't matter what pushback we get. The reason why it is so intense right now, the attacks on our community are so intense is because the change actually has already happened. It's already happened, and everybody's running scared to try to keep it at a status quo. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. We're here, we're queer. Get over it. Get used to it and get over it. No, for real. Yeah. Get over it. But I'm done asking. I'm done. It's not a conversation about acceptance or tolerance. That's not the conversation I'm having. The demand is you will respect my humanity, just as I respect everybody else's, period. That's the only conversation that I'm having.
Do you think that change in society is why you've resonated with so many people? Some of the same communities that in the past wanted you to hide who you are now saying most influential, come on out and have these discussions, asking you about politics and whatnot. That's an example of that. Absolutely. Society.
I do think I think the conversation is changing. Like I said, people are evolving. We're all human beings first, period. And the majority, particularly in America, I will just speak in America, and the world, the majority are on that page. And we, on the right side of history, on the right side of humanity, tend to give the benefit of the doubt. So therefore, we continually take bags of popcorn to gunfights. And that's what we've been doing this whole time right now. We taking a bag of popcorn to a gunfight. We're not showing up for the game that we're in. We're not showing up for the fight that we're in. This is not 1965. The game has changed. And we have to align with what that is. Love always wins. I've lived long enough, I'm 53, to know this is a circle of life. Love always wins. I was here for the AIDS crisis. I lived through that. I ain't scared of none of these people. and, right? My ancestors lived through slavery, the civil rights movement. I lived through the AIDS crisis. I'm not scared of any of these people. Extract that from the vocabulary. Fear and scare and terror. We don't have time for that. It's time for all hands on deck to fight for what is right for all humanity, period. We're in the fight of our lives right now.
Coming up next, what it took for Billy Porter to get to this level of self-confidence.
When you shift from ego to service in the intention of your life, everything else will work itself out. I asked myself, what does that mean for me? In an industry, and quite frankly, a world that's inherently narcissistic.